Good morning. It's Tech for Senior. It's episode 127th. It's August the 29th, and I'm Ron Brown, and I'll be your host today. This morning, we're going to start with, of course, our usual introductions. Then we have Bob doing the security news update. We're going to follow this with solar energy, a presentation by Mike Ungerman, followed by OneDrive, and Bill James is going to do a presentation on that. We'll finish off with Ray's great music selection and move into our question and answer session. So if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you. If you're watching it on the YouTube short, just click the description and you'll see a link to the show. So welcome everybody. It's of course, it's a bit overcast this morning, but other than that, I guess it's the end of summer, moving on into September. And as I said in our pre-meeting there, the big next Monday will be the big 7-0 for me. So I'm happy that I couldn't be happier that I'm doing this, and happier than working with a great bunch of people that I have they're helping to put this show together. So we do appreciate you being here, and we do get our energy from your enthusiasm. We of course do have another show that we run, and that's on our Thursday show, which is Tech for Senior Live. And this week, of course, we're going to be talking, we go over the news of the week, and everyone, of course, I'm sure is being shattered by the our password manager saga. So we're going to be talking about our password manager safe. I know Bob will have a lot to talk about today about that, as LastPass got breached this past week, and that's the buzz everyone has been talking about. So we're going to talk about that on Thursday. That's our Thursday show. And we have, of course, our Thursday show gets podcasted out. So you can, of course, watch it on podcast on the podcast networks. Today on our premiere service, we have a good selection for you. This, of course, will occur at ℏ and our premiere service today will be talking about Dewey Kloos is going to be talking about the Galaxy 4 watch, soon to be replaced with the Galaxy 5. And Huey, of course, is going to give his final talk on podcasting. This is part of a excellent three-part series, and this is the third and final part. And he's going to tell you what his favorite podcasts are. So be sure and watch that. And I'm going to talk about fall detection and how it works, and whether or not you should be interested in fall detection as pertaining to a watch. In this case, particularly the Galaxy 4 watch, again, soon to be replaced with the Galaxy 5 watch. So all that will be happening at ℏ, and I'll be putting the link in the shown in the chat. But it also is put in our Saturday newsletter, which brings me up to another part of the show is our newsletter. We produce a newsletter twice a week on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And on Saturday, I put the agenda for the show on Monday, as well as all the links, including the link to the as well as the link to the premiere service. So please, it's all free, and there are no ads in the newspaper. In fact, we don't even want to know your email address. I don't even know what it is. So please sign up if you're interested in getting our newsletter. Sign up. It's free. We don't put any ads in there. We don't track it. We don't sell it to anybody. It's just our way of being able to communicate with you on what we do, because we have this over 700 videos now online, and we had last month we had over 20,000 people view all the videos and services that we have. And we alluded earlier, Huey and I, of course, did learning Chromebooks last week, which turned out really well. And that, again, is another service that we offer. And to help support us through all this, I want to thank the people who donated generously this week. Gordy Balwig, Joel Sandberg, Diane Binder, and Eugene Lingenfelter. Eugene's, of course, from Mesa. I knew Gene down there in Arizona. So thanks those people who supported us. It does help pay the bills and keeps things going. let me introduce everyone today. Of course, my co-host today is Huey Popluck. Huey, I guess we had a lot of fun last Thursday. Wow, it sort of went by pretty quick, but we had some good fun with our Learning Chromebook.
Yeah, and I think our new format's working out very well.
Yeah,
we're actually looking at the articles directly without going to Facebook, and using the immersive reader so we can see it on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it worked out pretty good. So everyone seems to be happy with that. And of course, Chrome OS 104, there were a lot of cool features this year. Some months we just don't have, there's not much there, but there's a lot of really neat stuff. So I could do a video about it. Sometimes it's just not so easy, but it worked out well.
Yeah, I checked this morning. 105 is not available yet, but probably by next week it should be.
Right. Yes, indeed. And Bob, you've had a busy week. What the heck? LastPass getting hacked into? Good. Should we be worried? I guess you're going to tell us all about that today, right?
Yeah, it'll be part of what I cover in the roundup. It's been a very busy week. Lots of breaches, and you'll find out LastPass wasn't the only breach that occurred last week.
Is anything safe anymore?
Apparently not. So we have to be more vigilant than we've ever been. That's basically what it comes out to. Remember, a breach usually starts by bypassing some human being. Even the ones that don't directly come by bypassing us, somebody in the company gets bypassed. So
yeah. All right. Well, we look forward to what you have to say. And of course, Ray, how are you doing?
Doing well. Getting all set. I won't be here in person next week, so I'm going to be sure to get my information to you, so pre-recorded, so you'll be able to play it.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Well, we'll miss you for sure, but look forward to the following week. How's your new phone working out? How's the flip? Are you flipping away, or what's happening?
I love it. I took it to a party I went to with some friends on Saturday night, and I set it up in what they call the flex mode. So you set it up at a right angle. Me and my friend looked at it, and I said, cheese, and it automatically took the picture.
Oh, really? So were you the highlight of the party? Were you the highlight of the party?
I was being asked over and over, can I see your phone? Can I see your phone? Yeah.
All right. Well, we talked about
that's the cool aspect of it, right?
That's right. That's the sex. Remember, we talked about sex appeal last week, didn't we? That's we did on our Thursday show. We talked about sex appeal with the phone. Exactly. And Bill James, you've got a big talk today.
I do. Hopefully it'll make sense to everyone. If not, we'll try to answer some clarify in the Q&A. And preparing my article tomorrow for our gadget of the week.
Okay, that's great. Great. Well, we look forward to that. And Mike Ungerman, is it sunny in Florida? Are you in an energy positive mode now? Are you sitting there counting the dollars that you're making?
As I look out the window, the sun is definitely shining. So yes.
And you can see the little dollar sign ticking along as the money rolls in.
Yep.
There you go.
Those photons being converted into electrons or something.
Yeah. You're going to tell us all about that today and how we can make money on solar energy, or spend money, I guess, depending how good you're at it. Well, thank you. And we look forward to your presentation as well today. So, all right, just before we get going, I want to thank everyone again for being here. And Bob, do you want to take it away?
Let's do that. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending August 26, 2022. There's been a report of a possible Plex data breach. Users of the popular Plex media server may want to change their passwords as soon as they're able. The digital media player and streaming servers said a bad actor had infiltrated its system in a letter sent to users affected by the breach. In it, the company has revealed that it immediately started an investigation after it saw suspicious activity in one of its databases. Based on what it saw, Plex said it does appear that a third-party entity got access to a subset of data, which includes people's emails, usernames, and encrypted passwords. Even Troy Hunt of Have I Been Pawned was affected. As he noted in his tweet, there's nothing anyone can do to be exempt from service hacks, but using a password generator and two-factor authentication make their impact much less severe. To note, he encountered an error while trying to change passwords and found that not signing out existing devices made the switch go through. I received my notice from Plex this morning and promptly changed my password. If you have a Plex account, please do the same. I would also suggest that you activate two-factor authentication if you haven't already done so. Cybersecurity always starts with the user. Read more on this at Engadget at the link listed. LastPass, a very popular password manager, just had a security breach. Using a password manager is a good way to keep your personal accounts and information safe on the vast, wild internet. But password managers are not bulletproof either. Case in point, LastPass. One of the most used password managers is sending out emails warning users that it suffered a breach. I used a free account and have not yet received a notice. As detailed by LastPass, an unauthorized third party gained access to the developer environment through a compromised developer account. While some proprietary source code and other proprietary info was stolen, LastPass has clarified that no sensitive user info, such as master passwords, encrypted account passwords, or account information, was taken by the attacker. An investigation is underway to determine the size and scope of the breach. But in the meantime, ℍ𝕝 𝕠𝕟, LastPass CEO, is reassuring users that the breach didn't affect any sensitive info or passwords. Likewise, he's not recommending users take any action on their accounts for now. LastPass said in a blog post, "In response to the incident, we have developed containment and mitigation measures and engaged a leading cybersecurity and forensics firm. While our investigation is ongoing, we have achieved a state of containment, implemented additional enhanced security measures, and saw no further evidence of unauthorized activity. We seem to receive news of a new breach almost daily. Yesterday, I reported on a breach at Plex. Follow the link to see that report. Read more about today's breach at ℎ𝕠𝕟. Just follow the link listed. 1/3 of American parents think TikTok should be banned in the U.S. All About Cookies surveyed 1,000 parents to learn more about kids' security online and parents' approaches to keep them safe. When it comes to the overall assessment of social media, half of the parents are either happy it wasn't around when they were kids or think it makes children grow up way too fast. To mitigate that, 30% of K-12 parents keep their children off of social media entirely. Out of all social media, TikTok gained the least trust from parents, with 52% saying they don't feel confident that their kids' data is safe there. TikTok was followed by Snapchat, 51%, Facebook, 46%, and Instagram, 45%. YouTube, however, was the most trusted platform, with only 27% of respondents having doubts about it. 1/3, 33% of parents surveyed suggested that TikTok should be banned entirely in the United States. Read more at Cyber News. ℧𝕚𝕚 hit by DDoS after Entrust hack. A notorious ransom gang, ℧𝕚𝕚, suspects IT giant Entrust is behind a recent DDoS attack that knocked ℧𝕚𝕚's data leak site offline. Security researcher Sofiane Tahari concluded that the negotiations between ℧𝕚𝕚 and Entrust started on June 29th and, judging from the time stamp, Entrust stopped negotiations on July 13th. The initial ransom demand was $8 million and was lowered to $6.8 million. Throughout the last couple of days, we saw another twist in the story. ℧𝕚𝕚 was hit by a distributed denial of service attack that forced their data leak site offline. Score one for the good guys. Read more at Cyber News. A huge phishing campaign has targeted over 130 companies, including Twilio and Signal. Over 130 organizations, including Twilio, DoorDash, and Signal, have been potentially compromised by hackers as part of a month-long phishing campaign nicknamed Octopus by security researchers. Login credentials belonging to nearly 10,000 individuals were stolen by attackers who imitated the popular single sign-on service. Okta, according to a report from cybersecurity outfit Group IB, targets were sent text messages that redirected them to a phishing site. As the report from Group IB states, from the victim's point of view, the phishing sites looked quite convincing, as it is very similar to the authentication page they are used to seeing. Victims were asked for their username, password, and a two-factor authentication code. This information was then sent to the hackers. According to Group IB, the analysis of the phishing kit revealed that it was poorly configured and the way it had been developed provided an ability to extract stolen credentials for further analysis. Roberto Martinez, a senior threat intelligence analyst at Group IB, told TechCrunch. Read more at The Verge. Zoom patches twice in the same week. Just days after Zoom patched a vulnerability for its Mac users that allowed bad actors root access, the company released another patch saying the first could be bypassed. The exploit is publicly known and Mac Zoom users are urged to update to version 5.11.6, released August 17th. The Zoom Auto Update utility for Mac holds onto its privileged status to install Zoom packages and can be tricked into verifying other packages. Malicious actors could exploit this flaw to gain root access to the system. To learn more, see Ars Technica. Here's how to hack air-gapped systems. An Israeli researcher has discovered a new hack that can exfiltrate data from air-gapped systems using the blinked LED indicators on network cards. Dubbed Etherled, the hack involves infecting an air-gapped computer with malware that replaces the network card driver with a version that modifies the LED color and blinking frequency. A camera with a direct line of sight to the LED light can then record the blinking and translate it into binary data. Air-gapped systems are typically found in sensitive environments like critical infrastructure or weapon control units, and they consist of computers that are isolated from the internet for security reasons. For more details on this attack, see Bleeping Computer. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. While there are a variety of phishing methods, the most common have recently centered on the theft of financial information or government IDs. Read the article at the link listed, or watch my video on this topic at the YouTube link listed. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
So, Bob, I like your new intro.
Yeah, you sort of should. You gave me quite a bit of information on it. Actually, you produced most of it. I just did some modifications.
Yeah, that looks cool. Looks cool. Great. Well, you had a busy week for sure. Yes, and we'll be talking more about the LastPass and password managers. Are they safe on our Thursday show? So if you have any thoughts on that, we look forward to discussing those on Thursday. Solar energy. Let's see how Mike's going to show us how to make money here. Let's get the video up and we'll see how what we learned today.
Hi, I'm Mike Ungerman of the Central Florida Computer Society. I installed the solar voltaic system you see in this photo on my residence in Florida in 2 phases between 2017 and 2019. In parts 1 through 3 of this series, we covered the technology of producing solar voltaic or PV energy from a system for individual homeowners to place on their roof or on a rack located on their property. We also looked at some resources to enable us to determine if solar electric production would be efficient and potentially affordable for our residences. Now let's start to look at how to go about obtaining a solar PV system. The acquisition of a solar PV system is likely the highest expense you will have for your residence next to the purchase of your home itself. As a result, it's necessary to prepare yourself with dealing with companies who want your business and, in some cases, are willing to do anything it takes to get you to sign on the dotted line of their contracts. This video is one of many exposés investigating the shady tactics of some of them. So, let the buyer beware. Let's take a look at a few resources that can assist you in being a smart buyer. And these are sites that I've used previously in our presentation: the U.S. Department of Energy, Google's Project Sunroof, and I'm going to show you also Solar United Neighbors, a not-for-profit organization that assists with the acquisition of solar PV. Let's start with the Department of Energy, Homeowner's Guide to Going Solar. Very good site, lots of information. I have drilled down onto the actual homeowner's guide. Very good video, which I won't play now. You can take a look at it yourself. That gives you an overview and covers a lot of topics that we've already looked at. How does it work? Is your home suitable? With links to some of the resources and tools that we've done, even if you want to try installing solar for yourself. And down at the bottom of this link, we have where can I find other resources about going solar. I've opened it up, and there's a residential consumer guide to solar power, which I will go to. It's put out by the Solar Energy Industries Association. It's a PDF guide, very comprehensive, up to date, March 2022. Table of contents shows, again, it's looking at a lot of the subjects, some of which we looked at, some we haven't yet, different options for obtaining it through purchase, lease, or what's called a PPA, a power purchase agreement, taking care of your system, knowing your system, and some key questions to ask before entering into agreement, which again, let the buyer beware. So we'll scroll down through some of them fairly quickly. They do go into some of the ways that we can obtain solar, which may be a subject of one of our future presentations where we'll actually go into, should you lease, should you get into a power purchase agreement, should you buy it outright? Knowing your system, and we've taken a look at that previously as well. Looking at how you're compensated for excess electricity, which would be net metering. understanding the terms of your agreement, guarantees, very important to understand what is actually guaranteed and what's just part of an estimate. And probably one of the biggest ones is what happens if the company goes under? So, very comprehensive list of questions. These questions should be asked and either investigated yourself or asked of the sales representative when they come to talk to you. Perhaps not in this order, but eventually you want to make sure everything is covered. Very comprehensive list of questions going on for 2 pages, and then working out differences with them. So just with the basic homeowner's guide and then the residential guide that we're looking at now, it can fill in a lot of the gaps that we've looked at previously. Now let's look at the Solar United Neighbors, which is a nonprofit organization that I've mentioned previously. This is how we got our solar system, which you see here on the roof behind me. They are the organization that sponsors and coordinates solar cooperatives. It's not necessary to be in a cooperative to save money, but across the board, they'll get competitive bids. They'll pick a winner, and you can save probably in the range of 20%. And then they talk about joining a solar co-op and going solar on your own. So if you click go solar on your own, they will, if you become a member, but you can call them initially and get some help, but it's not, they'll take donations and you can become a member, and they'll answer your questions either by email or by telephone. They will assign a representative to answer one-on-one questions as you go through the process. They'll help you find reputable installers, especially if they're not in a co-op, but perhaps a co-op has been recently run in your area, and they can tell you who the winning bidders were. And then they'll follow up with you, or you can stay in touch with them to make sure that it continues to work, continuously. And finally, Project Sunroof. We've taken a look at Google's Project Sunroof. We've looked at the home solar analysis, and they can help you then choose a provider and give you some basic guidelines for choosing a provider. So how should you choose in terms of basic is what is their experience? What is their customer rating? What is their workmanship in terms of licenses, photos of completed jobs, getting their quotes, make sure they list out all of the estimated costs with projected savings, system installation, maintenance costs, listing all the components by make and model so that you can, if you wish, look up the individual components yourself and find out what their specifications are and perhaps suggest alternatives. Timing to see what the average wait time is for an installation, and then when they would schedule and the various different steps. And again, guarantees. So again, 3 different sources of information which are worth spending a lot of time with if you're going to make the investment. So now we've been cautioned on dealing with the sales force of solar PV contractors, and we've reviewed 3 of the internet sites that can be of assistance in this process. In my next presentation, I'll go into more detail on evaluating the solar PV contractors themselves and relate my experience in using the nonprofit through Solar United Neighbors to purchase my system. I'll show you some of the steps we went through and some of the evaluation forms that we used in checking out who the contractors were that were providing bids.
You're muted, Ron.
Thanks, Mike. Those are big dollars to have it not working. Yikes, that's not good.
Well, that's why I said, it's kind of like on a smaller scale buying a car. You're really going to have to watch how you deal with the salespeople. And on a purchase this large, you really have to have your ducks in a row. You've done all your research, because you're going to be dealing with some highly trained salespeople that are out to get your business.
And you would absolutely have to make sure that the company you're dealing with to get your power from is going to be able to accept power back into the grid. I mean, you'd have to have maybe a rock solid contract with those before you went and, started putting up a lot of money and putting panels on the roof, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, more to talk about in the Q&A. If we have questions, that's great. Bill James, where's Bill? Where did Bill go?
I'm here.
Are you? Oh, there, you're over there. Right. Okay. All right. You're up. I guess you're going to talk all about part 2 of OneDrive, eh?
I am. Hopefully everyone gets something out of this.
All right. I'll let you take it away, Bill. You're in the dark right now. Hopefully you'll enlighten us.
Good morning, all. This is part 2 of my presentation on OneDrive. Well, you can always choose where your files that you create. Your computer settings include default save locations for your desktop documents, pictures, and files. If you recall, during the Windows 10 setup, you probably saw something that said backup your files with OneDrive, telling you about the benefits of saving your files to OneDrive. And before July of 2019, that screen probably said protect your files with OneDrive. If you click next, you set up OneDrive as your default save location. If you click only save files to this PC option, you set up your PC as the default save location. So to back up your files with OneDrive, in your settings menu, you'll find under backup a choice of backup files to OneDrive. And you would need to turn that on. You have a choice at that point, either to use the file history or backing up files with OneDrive. And if you have an external drive, you can also use that as well. But that is if you're backing up to your PC. You can change your default save settings anytime. If you want to change where your files are saved by default, use the OneDrive app in settings. And you can select that from the icon and notification area. And when you click on that little cloud, you'll find you have this little applet that will show up. It says this is also where you can select automatically save your photos and videos. If you notice that if you have this box here checked where it says photos and videos, that means that OneDrive will automatically save your photos and videos to a connected from a connected camera or phone. And it also will save your screenshots if you check this box below. So if you want to set where your files are saved, when you click on the top button, you'll see this applet, and you'll find that it has desktop, documents, and pictures. And you can also stop the backup if you so desire. And then once you make your selections, you just click on Got It. if you want to choose what files are saved, you also can go in and choose those folders. You can choose the top checkbox that says make all files available, or you can go down and individually select which folders you want to be. So it's no matter which default setting you choose, you can still select the save location you want each time you save a file. I think this is a lot of confusion with a lot of people. So when you click save for new files or save as for existing files, you can click OneDrive or this PC and then pick the folder where you save the file to. Now, on newer versions of Office 365, you have to be aware that when you bring up any of the Microsoft applications, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, if you look up in the upper right corner, you're going to see something that says autosave. Now, when autosave is turned on, it's automatically backing up that file to OneDrive. So if you want to be able to save it to another location, you need to turn this off. And then you'll find the save as option where you can save it in any location you want. But as long as that's on the default location, it's going to be OneDrive. Also, whenever you hover over the OneDrive icon on the taskbar, it will show your status that OneDrive Personal is up to date. You might need to click on the Show Hidden Icons arrow to show that particular icon. It'll be next to the notification area, either see it. And if the icon doesn't appear in the notification area, OneDrive might not be running. So you'll need to go into all apps and click on it to turn it on. So select Start, type OneDrive in the search box, and then select OneDrive in the search results. So as I said before, if you remember that other applet, if you should stop protecting a folder, that folder on your PC may suddenly look empty. This is because the desktop documents and picture folders exist both under this PC and OneDrive, which might make them easy to mix up. So when you stop protecting a folder, existing files stay in OneDrive and new files save to your PC. So whether you save by default to your computer or to OneDrive, all your files are available on your PC. The OneDrive app built into Windows 10 synchronizes your files between OneDrive and your computer so they're backed up, protected, and available on any device. You can use files on demand to free up space or to make sure files and folders are always available on your device, even when you're offline. OneDrive also comes with a web application in addition to the desktop, and the web version has a different interface. You have to sign in to your Microsoft account in order to access it. This is the main OneDrive navigation screen, which is accessed from a web browser. The navigation interface resembles File Explorer. The navigational area is similar to Windows File Explorer, where files can be dragged and dropped around, or the buttons can be used to create files to upload the existing documents to OneDrive. This is for new, upload, sync, and flow. And then as you notice on the left side, you also, when you hit the new button, you can create a new document in Word or Excel, PowerPoint, or whatever you're choosing. If you don't have access to a computer, that's not a problem. You can access OneDrive web from any using any browser as long as you have an internet connection. And as I said before, you can add, delete, or share files, folders. So to do so, you just sign in to your OneDrive live account, and then select the file, then click share. And you also can do it from the OneDrive folder in File Explorer. In September of 2019, Microsoft announced what they call the Personal Vault. It is a protected area in OneDrive where users can store their most important or sensitive files or photos without sacrificing the convenience of anywhere access. Personal Vault has a strong authentication method or a second step of identity verification, such as fingerprint, face, PIN, or code sent via email or SMS. The Personal Vault, however, is not available for the Mac OS. But before you get started, it's worth noting that the free version of OneDrive and the 100 gigabyte plan restrict you to a maximum of 3 files in your Personal Vault. You could add multiple files to an archive like a zip file and store the archive as a single file in your vault. You're limited to 3 files. With the paid version of Office 365, Personal or Office 365 Home Plan, you get the ability to store as many files as you want in your Personal Vault up to your OneDrive storage limit, which will likely be 1 terabyte or more. If you're one that completely do not want to use OneDrive, you can disable it. In Windows 10, Windows 10 and OneDrive are sewn together tightly, so tightly, in fact, that OneDrive gets its own node in File Explorer, and the OneDrive sync client runs automatically at startup. You don't have to use OneDrive's cloud storage. Maybe you prefer a cloud service from another provider, or perhaps you're philosophically opposed to storing files in the cloud. Regardless of the reason, if you don't want to use OneDrive, you're free to ignore it. To disable it, you do the following. When the sync client pops up asking you to sign in, just click cancel. And you can then change the OneDrive settings so that it doesn't run automatically at startup. That option does, however, leave the OneDrive icon in the navigational pane of the File Explorer. To make it disappear, you need to make a simple registry edit. The registry edit is for the more advanced user. But if you notice here on this applet, in OneDrive, in the settings, under General, store at OneDrive automatically when I sign into Windows. You just need to uncheck that box, and that will no longer allow OneDrive to be running in the background. So if you want to do a more extensive this method in the OneDrive 10 or Pro or Enterprise versions, you can use group policies to make this. Your open local group policy editor and go to computer configuration administration templates, Windows components, OneDrive, then double click on the policy, prevent the usage of OneDrive for file storage, and set it to enable. After you restart your PC, you'll find that OneDrive icon is no longer in the navigational pane. The sync client no longer runs. On devices running Windows 10 Home, where group policies isn't available, you have to edit the registry manually. Note that this change applies to every user of the selected device. If you previously sync files to OneDrive, they remain in the local OneDrive folder, no longer linked to their cloud component. So one of the benefits of OneDrive is that it restores your data just entering a Microsoft account. You can store several different kinds of the files on OneDrive and then access them from any of your Windows PC or mobile devices. Anyone anyone who is the owner of a Microsoft account can use it for free within 5 gigabytes of storage. It enables you to share your files with ease. Other people can visit your shared files with the link. Files on demand syncing, users do not have to sync the entire OneDrive, but they can choose to sync the files that they are demanding. So in summary, OneDrive enables you to work closely with other Microsoft Office applications with the Microsoft platform. When you launch one of these applications, it's a list of recent documents, including those saved to OneDrive. If you don't want to use OneDrive, you can always disable it. I'll be available to answer any additional questions during the Q&A if some clarification is needed. Ron, back to you.
Thanks, Bill. Just unshare yourself. There you go. Thanks. Well, that was, oh, wow. I got a bunch of questions for you, so we'll do those in the Q&A. I'm sure you'll have lots of questions as well. Thanks so much. The topic, the two-part series was one last week and one this week, was really fostered by a question we had by some of our users about OneDrive. So if you have any concerns or questions that you want us to do a bit of a show on, please let us know, because we'll produce something for you and elaborate on that. So that's great. Now, Ray, just before we get going, I want to say goodbye to those folks over on our YouTube feed. Thank you for coming. Don't forget, I put the link to the premiere video in our chat. We'll be starting that at 1/2 past. If you want to pop over, we still have lots of room for you to come over if you want to participate in the Q&A. We'll be happy to have you. So I'm going to stop the feed now, over to YouTube. And Ray, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, sir. And then there were none. A little bit of news today about Jerry Allison. So we all know that Buddy Holly and the Crickets are one of rock and roll's true icons. They were pioneers, considering that they wrote, played, produced, and recorded their own material long before this became the norm. Likewise, we all know the name Buddy Holly, whose given name was Charles Hardin Holly with an E in his last name. But how many of us can name the other members of the Crickets? Well, at the very beginning, there was Jerry Allison on drums, and then Joe Malden as the bassist, along with rhythm guitarist Nicky Sullivan. These were the Crickets on their first major hit, That'll Be the Day. That song title was actually taken from a John Wayne line in the 1956 movie The Searchers. It was released in May of 1957, the song That'll Be the Day, and peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Top 100 chart. Another longtime member was singer-songwriter Sonny Curtis, known for his collaborations with Buddy Holly. Now, the other popular song associated with Buddy Holly and the Crickets, one of many, of course, is Peggy Sue. That was co-written by Buddy and the drummer Jerry Allison. When the song and the lyrics were being put together, Buddy had the title as Cindy Lou, named for a newborn niece. But Allison persuaded Holly to change the title. It seems a young lady, Miss Peggy Sue Guerin, was Jerry Allison's girlfriend at the time, and he wanted to impress her. Apparently it worked, as they eloped in 1958, but divorced 9 years later. Now, the website songfacts.com states the following. Drummer Jerry Allison had trouble keeping the right beat when they recorded this. The song had been written in cha-cha time. The engineer came on the mic and told Jerry, hey, if you don't get it right in the next take, we're going to change the name back to Cindy Lou. Well, Jerry thought this guy might not be kidding, so he asked for a few more minutes to go through some exercises. As he was going through the new warm-up, the beat to the song was changed from cha-cha to Jerry's new beat that was actually merely a part of his warm-up routine for the high school band. Buddy began to change the guitar licks to fit the beat, and the new rhythm developed right there on the spot. Jerry Allison, the last member of the original Crickets, passed away on August 22 at the age of 82. Today's clip has him explaining the beat change to Peggy Sue and then their appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Well done. Well done, Ray. Well done.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you know something? It's top of the hour. It's another show's gone by. I want to thank everyone for coming. We're going to start the Q&A in just a second. As you know, we have our premiere service starting in about half an hour. Please, if you have to leave now, remember we have another show on Thursday. We're going to talk about password managers and are they safe, along with all the news highlights of the week. So that'll be on Thursday morning. But remember, it's not a Zoom meeting. For those of you who come to our Zoom meeting, it's not there on Thursday. So we broadcast it from StreamYard, and we do it to our Facebook page and to our YouTube channel. So and find the links in page. Just go there and click it. And if you've been there before, you'll know how to get there. But once you're there, you just watch it. And but it's not a Zoom meeting, so it's a little bit different. All right, let's see here. I think that's about all I have to say. So, Bill, I have a question for you on OneDrive. On the auto save, can you select the location where it's going to save on OneDrive? So if I'm doing a PowerPoint presentation and it's auto saving over to OneDrive, can I change the location that it's being saved automatically? Unmute yourself when you answer.
You can, but you have to turn off autosave.
Right, I know
and then
that.
you can
Yeah.
select, but what happens is that you then have two copies.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's kind of the issue. And the what autosave is on, by the way, too, you have the option to save a copy, and that gives the second copy, but the two are not linked, so it can be confusing.
Okay, because obviously if it's auto saving it, maybe I want it saved into a directory called Tech for Senior Videos, right? And I'd want the PowerPoint saved into that directory, not on the generic, just not on the root directory in OneDrive, right?
Well, now if it's on autosave and you're saving it, you can go in and select any of the files and folders that you have within OneDrive.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
So the auto save feature will automatically save it in those directories.
In any of those directories that you choose.
Okay, all right, good. Okay.
I use the save as on a regular basis because I have a what would you call it? The video that I create for the security news roundup, that has a form that I just reuse and reuse. So I just bring up the original, and then F12 is save as. Shortcut you got to learn instead of having to go the hard way. F12 is save as, and then I just use today's date instead of, so I just keep reusing the same thing over and over and over, just make the changes. But
Okay, Drew, go ahead.
So I just installed Office 21, and I noticed the autosave feature was complaining that if I wanted to store my files out on my Google Drive, it was going to turn off autosave. Is that true that you can only autosave if you store your files on the OneDrive?
Right. AutoDrive is a feature of Microsoft Office.
It used to be a feature that you could do it on, like I have Word 2010 and 21. 2010 will autosave anywhere. 2021 seems to only autosave.
Now remember, there's, I think what you're saying is that the old versions of Office would automatically save periodically every 5 or 10 minutes. That's different from the autosave that is a switch that's on the current versions of Office.
So
Office, that autosave, it pertains to the applications that are used with OneDrive.
So if you're in Microsoft Word and you save your file out to Google Drive or your local computer, will it periodically save every 5 minutes? or are you on your own?
I don't think I know the answer to that, because what you're saying is that you're saving a Office file to Google Drive, and
Right.
that autosave would not work there, because autosave only pertains to Microsoft Office product.
Right. That's what I was kind of learning, is that now that you're inside Office 21 or the new Office 365, if you don't use OneDrive, you're kind of
Those are two different settings.
Right, they're two different settings.
Right.
If you're
There
using
is
Office
an
20
there is a setting in Word, for instance, that you can set so that it automatically saves every 5 minutes. Okay,
or
or every
whatever
10
time you
minutes.
set it for.
right.
Right.
Okay.
That is not the same as autosave. Autosave means that the file is being saved automatically to OneDrive. That part you can't use if you're saving it someplace else, like Google
Okay.
Drive. But
Because
the
it
other
almost
part,
saves it immediately.
right? The other part means that if the computer crashes, you haven't lost the whole thing.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
still going to
so-
be on your computer with the whatever time frame you set for. So those changes would automatically have been applied.
Right.
And if you're Drew, if you're talking about Office 21, you're talking about the standalone version of Word.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't have the OneDrive component built into it. It works just like Word.
Oh, it does. When I launch Microsoft Word, the first thing it wants to do is go to OneDrive.
Even in a 21 version.
I have Office 21 Professional. I have the whole suite.
Okay, not Office 365.
No, I purchased a standalone license, so I own my copy of Office. I don't rent it per month.
And it allows you to have and so you can also have the OneDrive component in that too.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Then you should see that switch autosave.
I did see it, and it worried me because it was suggesting to me that if I store my files anywhere other than at Microsoft, I was not going to have my files periodically saved. But you're saying that it will save it every 5 minutes anyway.
Right. So that if something happens, you remember that little pop-up that says you have unsaved files or what? I can't remember now what it says, but yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a good deal on the Office Pro, so I chose to go that way and save some money.
Huey, go ahead.
Just a couple of reminders. Drew, who you just heard from, is going to speak to the Sarasota Technology User Group on September 7th at 7 p.m. And he's going to talk about organizing the task and menu bars, making File Explorer work for you, some security things, recover your computer and your Microsoft account. And is it time to upgrade? So it's going to be a really good presentation. And then don't forget the Windows SIG that's now the STUG and CFCS combined, sponsored on the second Sunday of the month so that'll be September 11th.
Huey, can you send me a note on that? Remind me, and I'll put it in the newsletter.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, great, thanks. Edward, go ahead.
So when we get websites put into the chat on Zoom, how easy is it to get that to OneDrive? You know, like a website pops up, you Ron puts the website in the chat, and so you don't want to click on it while you're in the Zoom meeting, right? But you want to save it.
So
right?
if you go, so if you go down to the little 3-dot menu on the bottom there, you'll see are you on a PC?
Yeah,
So just go to those three little dots there, and you should be able to should offer the save as.
Yeah, Ron, I think
Mm-hmm.
he wants to get it up to OneDrive. And you would have to save it to your computer and then make sure that the folder in which it saves it
Right.
is something that's being backed up by OneDrive. And then it would automatically go to OneDrive after you've saved it to your computer. It won't automatically go to OneDrive through Zoom. That's not going to happen.
Right. So you need to save it to a folder on your PC. And if that folder is actually a OneDrive folder, it will sync it to the cloud, right?
Okay. So I'll click on well, see, but if you click on it while you're in the Zoom meeting,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Edward. What you need to do is copy the chat folder.
oh, okay.
After you copied it, then paste it in a Word document. And then once it's in that Word document, then you can either open it or it'll be saved to OneDrive.
But you can't do it while you're in a Zoom meeting.
No.
Then
No.
you get flipped off to
Exactly
right.
right.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Huey, did you have a question, or you just haven't put your hand down?
I didn't put my hand down.
All right. Okay. Well, there we go. That was good. Lots of good questions. Any other comments or questions for the show today?
I just put in the link to register for the Stug Zoom meeting. You have to register in advance, and it'll send you a link. And let's see, what else did I answer? Somebody else. So anyway, and Ray, great music choice. Thank you once again.
You're
Well
welcome.
done.
I thought the history of the song 52 was interesting as well, and the fact that it was originally going to be Cindy Lou, and then how that name got changed.
Irving, go ahead.
Yes, relative to Ray's presentation, I was able to pick up the sound-wise, the drummer speaking, but after he spoke or while he was speaking afterwards, I couldn't pick up the music sound. Anybody help me on that one?
Did anybody else have that problem?
No,
did not.
I didn't.
No.
No.
Don't know why, Irving. Most people, I think, just it was one video. There was no editing on my part. That was just one video from a BBC broadcast. So it just should have flowed normally and automatically.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you would hear the audio, but you wouldn't hear the. I guess in the video you didn't hear any of the video playing, did you? You didn't hear any of the sound, so the video just didn't play on your machine.
But he did hear Jerry Allison speaking.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you?
it's strange.
Yeah, which makes it.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that is weird.
That's weird. Irving, we don't know the answer to that.
One of
Sorry,
life's
Yeah,
mysteries.
thank you. Anyway,
a mystery. Technology. Yeah, just technology. Who knows? Who knows? Any other questions? Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll give everybody a little bit of extra time today to go to the bathroom and do whatever you want to do, and then meet back at hour for our premiere service.
Joel Sandberg, I guess, is gone now, huh? Or Joel S. He sent me a direct message I just saw, and I can't reply back to him.
Is Joel
He's
here?
on. He's still on.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, the chat won't let me send him a message. Oh, it only lets me send messages directly to the co-host or hosts.
Yep.
Oh, okay. He sent me a message. I can't reply back to him.
How could he do it, but you can't?
That makes
I
no
don't
sense
know.
either.
Yeah.
I have a message that says Joel asked to me, direct message in red. And it says, Drew, I have this blah, blah, blah problem. And I can't reply back to him.
When you're in the two, in the chat box, and when it says two, and do you have the drop down arrow that gives you the names of everybody else in the meeting?
Only the co-hosts.
Wow. That's funny.
That's odd because I don't think that's the way it's set up. Everyone should be able to.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
the same
Yeah, I
thing.
get messages all the time from attendees, not the
Yeah,
co-host.
well, we're
Well,
co-hosts,
we're co-hosts, so that doesn't
Yeah.
apply to us.
but if he was able to private message you, that should be turned on then.
Yep.
Um,
Not now. It changed somewhere in the middle.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I can't do
interesting.
it now.
All right, somebody clicked on something, or the Zoom gremlins are at work.
All right. Sorry, we can't help with that. Any other questions? Kathleen, did you have a question?
What is the premiere meeting, and is it restricted in some way, shape, or form?
No. It's our meeting that it's a video that you have the link in the chat. Just if you click that link, it'll take you to it. But of course, the premiere doesn't start till hour. It's free. There's no charge to it. It's basically 3 selections from the show we did a year ago. Okay, but I've stripped out all the other stuff. It's just those topics that will be playing. There'll be nothing else. It's just simply boom, 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 those 3 selections. And we set it up sort of that you can use it for your complete computer club. You can replay it or whatever. The only thing about it is it doesn't start till 10:30. It will be after 10:30, it's recorded. You can watch it again and
1:30.
again and again. That's not a problem. But if you go there now and look, it'll just say it's starting at 10:30. And that's all it is.
One
Bottom of
or
the-
1:30 on hers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
1:30.
and it's on YouTube. It's not Zoom.
Yes, but the link
Right.
there in the link in the show, that I've put in there will take you directly there. And it's also in the newsletter. Kathleen, I always put it in the Saturday newsletter. It's in our agenda, so the link is there as well.
And if you click it now, you'll see a countdown timer until it starts. Okay.
Right.
All right, thank you. This time I will know.
Okay.
Sure.
And yes, it's free. It's all free. We don't charge any money. So just enjoy it and watch the video. It's fun to look and see what we did a year ago. All right. Okay. Well, then we'll see everybody on Thursday. Please come and listen, and we'll see everybody back here next Monday. And so we have a great week, everyone, and we will we'll see you again soon. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.